Steven Tyler. There's a man who once made 80,000 people feel something they couldn't put into words, and then spent decades quietly trying to outrun everything that lived inside him. Most people remember the scarves, the screams, the untamed chaos of a frontman who turned rock and roll into something that felt almost sacred. Far fewer stopped to ask what that scream was actually carrying. Born Steven Tallarico in Manhattan in 1948, he grew up in a household where music wasn't background noise. It was the foundation. His father was a classically trained pianist who had performed alongside legends like Ella Fitzgerald and studied at Juilliard. 3 generations of musicians shaped the boy before he knew what to do with it. But when Steven saw the Rolling Stones perform in Greenwich Village at 17, something clicked that no classical training could have triggered. He didn't want the concert hall. He wanted the stage. By 16, he was already fronting a band. By his early 20s, he had moved to Boston, linked up with guitarist Joe Perry and bassist Tom Hamilton, and built Aerosmith from a cramped apartment on Commonwealth Avenue into one of the biggest rock acts in history. Over 150 million records sold, 4 Grammys, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a career that stretched more than 5 decades. But parallel to every triumph ran a quieter, darker story. Cocaine, heroin, alcohol. The press called Tyler and Perry the Toxic Twins, and it wasn't a compliment. Perry quit the band mid-tour in 1979. The albums that followed barely registered. By the early 80s, the music industry had already written their obituary. What happened next? Almost nobody expected. After interventions, rehab, and a lot of hard silence, Tyler got sober. And the albums he made clean were the best of his career. Pump, Get a Grip, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which held the Billboard #1 spot for 4 consecutive weeks. The comeback wasn't just remarkable, it became its own kind of legend. Still, the years left their marks. Multiple surgeries, a relapse tied to prescription painkillers after a fall off stage in 2009, a hepatitis C diagnosis from the needle years, requiring nearly a year of chemotherapy. And in 2023, during what was supposed to be a farewell tour, his larynx fractured mid-performance. Doctors later confirmed what Tyler couldn't bring himself to say plainly. A full recovery wasn't possible. In August 2024, Aerosmith announced their retirement from touring. 54 years, 15 studio albums, 1 broken voice that no amount of money or medicine could fully restore. His personal life carried its own weight. His daughter Liv grew up for 11 years not knowing he was her father. A consequence, in part, of how deep into addiction he was when she was born. He missed those years entirely. Years later, the song he sang for her film, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, carried a meaning the audience never quite knew. There are also serious allegations that remain unresolved. 2 lawsuits filed by women who claim Tyler engaged in sexual misconduct with them when they were minors in the 1970s. Tyler has denied the allegations. The cases remain part of a legal and historical record that sits uncomfortably alongside the rest of his legacy. At 78, he still shows up. He performed at the Grammy Awards. He took the MTV VMAs stage to honor Ozzy Osbourne. The scream may be gone, but the man behind it refuses to disappear. What's left isn't a clean story. It's a human one, messy, contradictory, and somehow still standing. If that kind of honesty resonates with you, subscribe and stick around. There are more stories worth telling.